The Bliss Business Podcast, the show about empathy, connection, and consciousness in business. Today's episode is brought to you by Zero Company, your paid search, social media, and programmatic ad experts.
Welcome to the Marketing with Purpose series of the Bliss Business Podcast, where we explore what it really takes for marketing leaders to create impact that goes beyond the numbers. I'm Michelle, and in each episode, we sit down with marketing experts to explore their leadership approach and strategies that drive performance and resonate with their audience. Together, we'll dive into what's working, what's not, and how purpose and empathy can transform the way brands connect with people. Let's get started. Today, I'm joined by Fred Navas, digital marketing specialist with deep roots in the evolution of paid search and performance advertising. Fred brings years of hands-on experience leading direct response campaigns for both local and national brands. And over the last 3 years, he has focused specifically on helping franchise businesses grow through lead generation strategies across Google, social, programmatic, and SEO. With a strong background in digital display, PPC, programmatic, DMP, and Google Analytics, he combines technical expertise with practical execution to drive measurable results. We're going to explore marketing as a growth engine for franchises today and how data-driven digital strategies can fuel scalable growth across multi-location businesses. I'm excited to dive in. Fred, before we dive in, I'd love to start with why franchise and multi-location marketing has become such a critical topic for you, and what makes marketing such a powerful and yet challenging driver for franchise brands.
Thanks, Michelle. Happy to be here. Definitely, marketing for franchises has been the forefront for the last 3 years for me, and digital marketing for franchises is one of the fastest tools to see results. So you set up your direct response campaign. Usually you want to get more leads. And the goal of your campaign should always be to turn that expense into an investment. So with the right strategy, you can quantify what you're spending and make sure you're getting a return on that. One thing to keep in mind is that your strategy should be scalable, because the strategy for a single location owner is going to be different from your CEOs. So those are people that have 3 or more locations. Those owners require a different strategy, and it's key for us to work with the owner and the franchisors to set up those strategies.
That's excellent. Yeah. And that whole process builds a lot of trust too with those local communities as well that they're working in.
For sure, yeah. So that's one of the benefits of the franchise model, because you have foot on the ground. So it's a local business with the backing of a national brand. Again, it depends on where in your stage. If you're just starting your franchise, you have a handful of locations. It might look different, but like I said, this is scalable. So if your needs are, I want to get my 2 locations up and going, we can work with you. I can have a customized strategy for that. If you have 100 locations, that's completely different. So, but again, having that local footprint makes it a lot easier for us to work with any number of franchises.
Yeah, and scale up for sure. Franchises often walk a tightrope between maintaining a unified brand and allowing local owners creative freedom. How do you see successful brands striking that balance without losing identity or local relevance?
Great question. So yeah, definitely you have a national brand. Even if you're just starting, you want to make sure you develop your brand when you set up your franchise. It's a successful business. So the way you run it, you have that, you want to make sure the local or the new franchises have that same philosophy. They follow the recipe. But you also want to create as you grow. So if you go from 10 locations to 20 locations, you want to empower those individual locations to have a leadership group where they can have some impact on their local marketing materials.
Yeah, that's a great answer because hyperlocal is a component of it too, right? Within the micro communities that they're based in.
Exactly, for sure.
When a franchise brand faces a crisis or sudden market shift, decisions have to ripple across dozens or hundreds of locations. How can leadership maintain empathy and purpose while still acting quickly at scale?
Well, the key is recognizing that you have different owners. So again, a single owner location, their needs are different. Those CEOs, the owners that have multiple locations, their needs are similar, but they require a different strategy. So from the brand, they have to, it's key for them to recognize that the needs are different. And if there's a change, we want to make sure we take into account everyone that's going to be affected by this change, and make sure that we're taking everyone into account.
Yeah, and empathy plays a role in that, doesn't it? From leadership down, really trying to understand maybe the challenges or friction points that, franchisees might be experiencing as well. So
Exactly.
franchise systems generate huge amounts of data, but each location has unique customer behavior. Can you share an example where local insights allowed a national strategy where local insights altered a national strategy and what that revealed about balancing centralized analytics and on-the-ground intuition?
Where it comes into play, it's with product or service development. We often see changes to products and services come from local franchise owners, from what they're hearing from their customers, from what customers are requesting. So for the national brand, it's key to create a system to track those opportunities. Like I said, local markets, they're going to be the first ones to see changes in the industry, changes in the consumer behavior. So if you're listening to them, it's going to be key for you to test those new opportunities and test them out before you roll out to the national levels. I worked with a location-based company. It's service, so they don't necessarily have to have a location to service those areas. They drive to their clients, and when they get started, the cost for renting a location, it's fairly high. So without having that location, this new owner decided to offer a service that required a location. So the location, they actually went to the client's house every day, as opposed to renting a place to do that. So that saved them on overhead cost and created a new opportunity, because the client felt more comfortable having someone come to their house and provide that service than going to a location and have that experience. So it saved cost and improved the service.
Oh,
So,
what a brilliant approach. Yeah, right on. In multi-location marketing, attribution and ROI tracking can get messy. What tools or strategies have you found most effective in connecting marketing efforts to actual revenue across different markets?
I've been in the industry for a while, and for me, it seems simple, but I'm surprised every time that I start working with a new company and they don't have a CRM system to track their leads to client. So
Yeah.
it's basic, because you need to know your lead to first transaction, lifetime value, and on top of that, that first party data, it's going to help on most of your digital campaigns to optimize that revenue. So tracking your lead funnel from a end customer journey, it's a key to finding gaps in opportunities to improve. So yeah, that CRM system and how you track it, it's key for everyone.
Yeah, and that's a big part of what you do, I know, for your clients, right? Is make sure all that is set up and the analytics and everything is integrated, right? So all that data is.
Yeah, so that first party data, it's invaluable to optimize digital campaigns. So we're feeding the algorithm data that it's going to help us find your most valuable customers and happy customers.
Yeah, it's very smart. Yep. Franchise success depends not only on corporate teams, but also on empowering local operators. What approaches help develop marketing capability at both the corporate and local level? And where do brands typically struggle?
So the biggest struggle is implementation at the local level. So the brands, the franchise, they're successful because they created a recipe that works, but it breaks down when you try to implement it at the local level because everyone has their own ideas and they want to improve, and sometimes those changes don't improve the system, and they forget the recipe that generated that initial success. So successful, and the way to some franchises have overcome that is they build leadership teams from local franchise owners. They empower them to develop their marketing strategies. So you keep your national brand strategy, and then you feed it with your local feedback from that leadership group.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. When you think about the future of franchise marketing, how can large multi-location brands stay human and purpose-driven, ensuring customers still feel a genuine connection rather than a corporate experience?
So with the franchise model, it feeds into that. The on-the-ground human connection, it's there because it's even though it's a national brand, each owner it's a local business. So it has both the power that comes from a national brand and the local presence. So that connection with your customers is always there, and it helps you stay away from that corporate experience.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about franchises. I feel like they are very community oriented, right? And I think that customer loyalty comes from marketing that's really aligned with their purpose and values and how they connect to that community too.
Yeah, for sure. Because you got to remember, those owners are from the community. So it's like I said, it's a local business owned with the backing of a national brand.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Fred, thank you for joining us on the Marketing with Purpose, a series of the Bliss Business Podcast today.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Great to have you on the show. Yeah. I hope today's conversation sparked new ideas for how you can align strategy, execution, and purpose in your own work. If you found value in this discussion, like, subscribe, or share it to keep the conversation going. And remember, great marketing doesn't just sell, it serves. See you next time.